It's me, the Nitty Gritty Yarn Girl. How are you? It's Monday night and this is Twisted Stitches. I hope you had a great day. It was quite lovely outside today. A little cloudy up and down there. We took a whirlwind trip to New Jersey to visit with my uncle who's just home from the hospital. We shut down, gave him a squeeze and turned around and came back. But that's what you do when you want to make sure you see all those great people in your life. So we are just ready for a fun show tonight. I'm so excited to bring this. It was just such a great yesterday that there was so much going on, and at the end of the day, I was kind of browsing the internet, and there was this fabulous shawl, and Cornelia Tuttle Hamilton's name was next to it, and I said, "Oh boy, we've got to get this on the show." And so we are very, very lucky tonight to have Cornelia Tuttle Hamilton with us. And she's going to be talking with us about this new, I can't remember the name of it right now, but I'll let her tell you. But before we introduce Cornelia, Paul, who's with us tonight?
All right. Believe it or not, Gina Bates is first in the house today. And she even said so, and I highlighted it on the screen for a moment. Then we've got Donna Nahajlo. Hi, everybody. And Anna Maria Milani. Hello, everyone. Kelly Kohlhofer says good evening. And Sarah Miller. New person coming back. Hi, Paulette. Good to see Ben. Rochelle Worth Price says hi from Chicago. And our friend Darren Showers from the Cape says hello. Smiley face homemade emoji. And Julie Denny Stark. Hi, Ben. Jillian Goldrich. Yay, Gina. Leslie Webbs Flaherty says hi, everyone. And Beverly Reiser. Hi, everyone from Manitowoc, Wisconsin. Getting cold here again. And Jennifer Francis is back. Says hi. Nancy McClellan Ball. Hi, all. And Maria Brandt. Hi from Savannah, Missouri. Glad to be there. I thought Savannah was in Georgia.
Not that Savannah.
All righty. And Knitting Fever and Euro Yarn says hello. And Kathleen Bray. Good evening from Redwood Valley, California.
Kathleen, I hope your package has gotten to you. Oh my goodness, we have we have two packages from the pop-up sale that are still floating around out there. So thank you for being patient. One of them is actually coming back to me, but Kathleen, yours is still en route via Springfield, Massachusetts. Don't ask me how the postal system works.
Heather Campbell says hello from Wawa. Helen Solenberger is with us. Happy Monday and hi to all the gritty groupies. Julie Bensler Jackson. Ben is so darn cute. Oh, you're just saying that because it's true. And Pamela Rose Atkins says hi all. Susan Meek, hi everyone. And Lauren Argenta Samoas. Hi from Thomaston. That's in Connecticut. That much I know. Kathleen Gray says no, nothing yet. But don't worry. It will get there. We promise.
It will. I've been on the phone with the U.S. Postal Service a few times on your behalf. So, and mine as well. I mean, I wanted to get there as much as you do. So, well, thank you everyone for joining us this evening. We are very, very excited to be here. And Cornelia has so much to share with you that I'm just going to turn the show right over. Cornelia, you can see how that our little community has grown since you've last been on. And, we just love having all these fans with us every week. So welcome, Cornelia.
Well, thank you. It's great to be here again. And I actually recognize some of the names, so that's nice.
Good.
It's wonderful that your whole enterprise is growing.
Yeah, we have a wonderful, wonderful group of fans. They're fantastic.
I have to say, I'm impressed how on top of you've got your real pulse on the industry, which is very fun. I think that's great, and I hope
I do my best to make sure we
customers realize that.
Yeah.
So I have this. I'll just jump right in. I published a new pattern. It's a shawl at the moment. I'm going to be making also a sweater out of it, a garment with sleeves in the back and things like that. But for now, it's a shawl. And it's worked in Noro yarns. This particular one is Ito and Silk Garden Sock Solo. And it's a slip stitch pattern. You're only using one yarn at a time on any given row, which is great. I really, really like simple things that look like more than, that look complicated, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
So I would have no hesitancy telling a beginner that they could work this pattern. And I don't normally say that because a lot of my patterns I don't particularly feel are beginners. Anyway, this one is. So what we're going to do is look at your yarns, aren't we? And
yes, I'm going to put Ben down.
different combos. So
So
what we have here, the general concept would be, I've got 2 different yarns of 2 different weights, not radically different, but we have Ito, which is, what do you call it? An Aran, or would you call it a heavy worsted, or what do you call it?
We call it an Aran.
Okay, an Aran, and then Silk Garden Sock Solo. What do you call that? A fingering?
Actually, that is, I think that's, yeah, well, it's a fingering sport. It's more a sport weight.
All right, so we've got like 2 different, boom, boom, 2 notches between, or however you want to look at it. I always go by gauge. When you're knitting this, what I would love is for people to experiment, to use this pattern, the stitch pattern, and then experiment on their own. You're always going to be going from the gauge of the thicker yarn that you're using. That's how you're going to establish what needle size you're going to have. So, and you want to have pretty much of a normal needle size for that heavier yarn. Is that Bachi there? Or is that
this is actually Ito?
Is Ito, okay. So I used a size 7 needle here, which I think is what's called for there. I have 18 stitches, is 4 inches.
Okay.
So it's a perfectly normal. Now the row gauge is quite compressed. So I've got, I think it was 36 rows, because you have the slip stitch, which pulls the fabric together vertically.
I'm paying attention, Paul. He's telling me to smile, and I said, I'm paying attention. I'm listening.
So that's what's going on here, and they're really it's quite effective in the Ito, because the Ito has such short color repeats, and it just worked out beautiful. Now the back side of this, I'll just mention that I find very attractive as well. So you can have in a garment, the garment that I'm going to design will have a fold over collar where we're just using the back of the fabric as a design detail, or however you want to put it. There's no reason to complicate things. I think it's attractive. It's rustic, but it's I think it's very appealing.
Well, I think Noro yarns have that rustic feel to them anyway. So, you know, even the summer weight yarns have that more of a rustic feel to them. But one of the things that I really liked about the conversations that we've been having about this is how the pattern, the garment that you created, you used those 2 yarns, but you've also mentioned that it can be done in so many different varieties.
Well, this is it's a pretty sturdy fabric. So this will hold up good in a garment. Sometimes when you knit a shawl or a scarf, you don't have to really care so much, because you're not having the weight of a garment. You're not having the stress of it. So as soon as I made this fabric, I thought, okay, this is something I can use in a sweater. So what you can do is go up a needle size and see. I encourage everybody to swatch, and then rip it out if you don't like it. So what I've done is knit up a few swatches. I just got really interested in, well, how would this look in different Noro yarns, different combinations? So I've got some here that we're going to be looking at. How do you want to attack this, my dear?
Well, you said you had one in Miyabi.
Oh,
so let's start with Miyabi.
Oh, I hit my thing. Sorry.
That's okay. So you said you have a Miyabi sample. So let's talk about the different samples you've knitted.
Yeah.
And I'll grab some colors that I have here, and we can see if we can play around with that.
So as a designer, I have certain sample balls that I get from Knitting Fever that I try and swatch with and things like that, but I don't always have colors that go together. So the samples aren't perfectly coordinated, but I wanted to see the fabrics. But I did have a ball each of the Silk Garden Sock Solo and the Miyabi in the brown tones, which looks like this, if I can get it in front of the camera. And sometimes it's great to have something that is neutral. Now, Another thing that would be great here is if you took a color in the Silk Garden Sock Solo and just had the neutrals in the background. So you would be framing, so to speak, the little things. What the little things? Listening to me.
Your little pane. I call them little window panes. They remind me of little window panes.
All right, framing the window panes in whatever color you like.
Right, right.
So there's a lot of room here in this for all kinds of variations to make it the way that you want to make it.
Exactly. So hold on one second, Cornelia. I'm gonna pull up some of these colors that I have in Miyabi and play around with them, and let's
sure.
Come up with. We have some comments.
Yes. All right. I just want to let everyone know, because we have a special guest on this evening, we may not be able to get to all of the questions. However, Knitting Fever and Neuro Yarns is on.
Euro Yarns.
Yeah, Euro Yarns. So, for instance, Kitsy Demery asked, "What is the name of the vest and yarn name?" And then Knitting Fever and Euro Yarns was able to put the link to that exact piece.
Oh, to the pattern?
So they may answer some of the questions by putting a link in that we may not get to all the questions, again, because we have a special guest this evening.
Right. I need to get over here. So
I call it Slipstream Shawl. That's
the Slipstream. That's correct. Yeah. So
now,
I thought like something like this.
Yes. When you're picking colors to combine, what I normally do, that's beautiful, is to take something. You don't have to match what's in another skein,
right?
Because when the colors get too close, like you can see in this one, it gets kind of close in a couple of areas, but and it works okay here, I think, because it's just once in a while. So your imagination is really the limit. Well, why not? Why not? I would see you got a little shade of pink in there, don't you? Yeah, exactly. So that's all that I would look for, is some nod, if you will, to the shade that you're going to be using with it.
Right.
And not the exact color, because then the grid will disappear, the windows will disappear, so to speak.
And so, this was another one, the Tayo.
Yes.
We had picked up Tayo before, and the Silk Garden Sock Solo. Isn't that great?
Beautiful. So the Tayo is going to pop. Tayo is one of my favorite yarns. I don't know why. I just love it. It's a gutsy knit for sure. It's not,
It's my favorite too, Cornelia. One of my favorites too. I mean, look at this. And I haven't even gotten any of this on the
website.
That
red one? Bring that red one back. Didn't you have a red one, a reddish one, pink or whatever it was? Yeah, that wouldn't be bad at all. That would be gorgeous. Yep.
Then there was
even the dark blue would work.
Oh, absolutely. Oh my goodness. Look at that.
Yeah, that's even almost better. Yeah. So this is what I mean. The other thing you can do when you're dealing with yarns, when I had people come into my shop, sometimes they would bring in a garment and say they wanted to match it. I said, don't think about matching. Think about what is the next shade that would be coming. And then you get a really beautiful play between the colors, because the eye wants to, if it doesn't match exactly, it's always a problem. So you're better off just
right.
Yeah.
It's like saying black is black. It's not really.
Right.
When you put two blacks next to each other, or any two colors. So another combination that you had Akari and
I have two.
You're welcome, Kitsy.
This is the Akari and the Sonata. It started out with, I only had this mint green, and so I put the blue first, and and then I tried a different one. And so I would like a little bit more contrast, I think, and I'm sure you have other colors there. So, yeah.
Yeah, no, that's got that blue it might be, see, if you look at the blue in the Akari, it's more green, it has more of that. And then this is more.
What else do you have in the Sonata? Do you have, even a light gray would be beautiful, or a neutral? Because the one in your right hand is so soft. The colorways.
Yes.
You could use you could do a neutral with it, not too bright.
You don't really want, would you use Kumo?
I love Kumo. Yes, absolutely.
Would you use Kumo with Akari?
I would try it if I were you.
I mean,
Sometimes
it's kind of interesting.
it is. What I try and do is also think about slight texture differences.
Uh-huh.
So if two things like the Silk Garden Sock Solo and the Sweeto have a similar texture,
Yes.
they kind of get lost in each other. So, and the Akari is smooth and but it's a little fluffy, so it goes well against the Silk Garden sock. I think you see what I'm saying.
Yeah. And so now those are which two?
This is Akari, the light.
Okay.
And
And
the
Silk
darker
Garden
one
Sock.
is Silk Garden Sock Solo.
Cool. Yeah. Yeah. And we
So-
have a variety of colors in all of these yarns. I just, grabbed a few different things. Okay. So Akari, I'm sorry. So Silk Gardens, oh boy. Sonata is here.
All right, so hold up that colored one that you have in your hand there. Oh, and then pull back so I can see all the colors. Yeah. Well, there's a lot you can do.
Yeah. Even the light pink.
Yeah, I don't even mind that one that's right behind you, that between the pink and the purple, there's that beigey looking.
This one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even that would be beautiful if you're so inclined, or the purple one. It just depends on what direction you want to take it in.
Right.
So right.
And I'm just trying to grab some other colors here while I'm. So this one has the purples and the blues, or purples and blacks.
I would take a nice dark gray in the background.
Yep. Yep.
Or even
That's
that.
kind of a blue gray.
Yeah.
That's more blue.
Yeah. But it would be pretty.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
So I love coming up with the different
So
combinations of colors because the sky's the limit.
Let me point out just the one that's right in between your breasts at the moment, this light gray one. Look at that now. Hold it up to it. It's not that great. You see what I mean? They're too light.
They're
together.
too much alike.
Exactly. So
Yep.
I think the darker blue one, that storm cloud blue would be better.
Yeah. Yeah. And then there are so many others, so many other colors that you can do. What's interesting is you get something like that. Those colors are fabulous in there.
But see, that would be great. You know that green one that you had out that I keep talking about?
Yes, that's exactly where I was going with this one. Yep. This one right here.
No, the green, well, yes, that's beautiful. But then you had a green Silk Garden Sock Solo. That's fantastic. But you had the green.
This one. This is it.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind that either.
Yep. And even the gold works with that.
Yes, it does. And this is when it gets exciting. You see what's happening with the gold there? It just starts to pop in the Akari.
Yep.
Yeah. And that's all you really need to tie it in.
And what about Kanzashi with this? For this shawl?
Well, I've got a swatch here, and the color repeat is bigger, so it's hard to, but basically the fabric looks like this. And this is with Silk Garden Sock Solo as well.
Okay.
So it's a nice, and this is the back. It's a nice fabric.
That's really interesting the way that
It
works
is.
up.
Yeah.
Look what other color I found.
It's kind of stretchy too, which I kind of like. See this?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's a beautiful one.
I love this one.
Yeah.
I'm looking around saying, all right, what will this work with?
Okay, so Paul, can you show me the table again where those other ones are?
So the
Well, those are, I wouldn't even go further than that. But that one right there, it would go with the one on the table now. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Look at that.
Yep.
So it's pretty interesting the way
It is.
really the sky is really the limit with this. It's I love it. Would you, as I'm looking at these, would you put Akari, I'm sorry, Sweeto and Sonata together in this?
You know, I did. Here's my swatch with that, and I gave it a thumbs down.
Okay.
Only because you see how in between the rows there, you can't really see that there's too much difference in the weight.
Right.
The
Right.
Sonata can't handle it.
Okay.
Is what it is. Point. That's the explanation there. So I don't think you could do it. You could do it, but it's not optimal.
Right.
But the
Right.
Sonata and the Akari is very nice together.
The Sonata and Akari. Yep.
Yep.
And you did it with Ito and Sock Solo.
I did it. The one right here is Ito and Sock Solo. Yes.
Yeah.
And then this is Sock Solo and Sweeto.
Ah.
And the Sock Solo it's sturdy enough to deal with the weight of the Sweeto.
Right. Right.
See, even though it's opened up. So this is a rather porous, but it doesn't have, the Sweeto, it'll hold it. Where are we? It'll hold it together. And since it's a shawl, it doesn't have to be knit like cement,
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Now, my question just came in my head and went right out my head. What? Oh, different gauges and knitting with the. We were talking earlier about needle size using and different yarn weights. So
yeah. So when in this particular project, you're going to be knitting at the gauge of the Ito. Let's just take mine. And the Silk Garden sock using a 4.5 would feel a little bit like it was loosely knit. You would want to, if you were just using the Silk Garden sock alone, you would probably go down to a 3.5, like a 6 or a 5, or I don't know, something less. But because you have the thicker yarn at its correct weight, it acts as a scaffold and then it holds up the other yarn that you have with it. So don't try and knit the thinner yarn tightly just because you're on a bigger needle. Let it go at the same tension, the same stitch gauge as the thicker yarn. So if it's 18, then just let that go the same way.
Cool. Excellent. Yep, Paul.
All right. So Jody Kingsley says pink looks good too. Maria Brandt says those blues look great. And let's see here. We have Ann McGlure says it's nice that Cornelia has done all this swatching and testing for us.
It sure is.
Well, you're welcome. You're welcome. It's my pleasure. I just love swatching.
And Phyllis Deedle Samebi says, love your show tonight, showing all the yarn together.
Well, yeah, this is kind of just, we're just popping stuff together here and getting ideas. And, this is kind of like, this is kind of what you do when you go to your yarn shop and you say, I'd like to make this. And what are some different yarns I can work in? And having Cornelia here to help us so that we understand what her vision was when she put this all together is really helpful to me. And I'm sure to all of you as well.
I also, this is a slightly different, I'm also working on this. I'll be doing something in this particular stitch gauge, what do you call it, pattern. But this is Bachi and Sweeto, and I love it. So it's kind of thick, it's kind of boardy, which I always love boardy stuff. I don't know why the Noro, I just love the Noro, But this would be a nice, a great fabric for a nice cardigan, jacket, like a jacket, or something. I'll figure something out that I like to make out of it. But I like that one as well. So you can use all kinds of things here. The sky's the limit, fantasy, and be bold, And the great thing is for this one here, I only used one ball of each of the yarns. And that's also a great thing.
Isn't that nice? Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. You know, we're all looking for those projects where we don't have to buy massive amounts of yarn.
Exactly.
And it looks like it would go pretty quickly too.
Yeah, relatively. And it's, I mean, you can knit it if you wanted something narrow, or you could, of course, do it narrow. This is about 11.5 inches. I like a substantial thing around my neck. And then I never know whether to call it a scarf or a shawl, but I call it a shawl. I don't know. So,
and I like the fact that you can then fold it over and enjoy that opposite side, because
and
it's really
belted
attractive.
too. I like them belted to wear fabric pieces, you know, as garments. I just like doing that. So, yeah. So
Right, and it shows, that's how you have it shown in the photograph with a belt on it, which is really very attractive. What is the finished length of it? Do you know?
62, I think. I don't
Okay.
have the pattern in front of me. It's either 52 or 62.
Well, you know,
Yeah.
I downloaded the pattern last night and then I forgot to print it. So there it is, sitting somewhere in cyberspace.
And then if you get bored, you can always wear it, and then you could wear it like this and have the collar be the
Oh, the opposite. Yeah.
exactly.
Very, very nice. The finished measurement, Knitting Fever's posting the finished measurement on
Oh,
the
thank you, Knitting Fever.
62 inches.
62 inches.
It is 62. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so
what I thought.
that's a nice, done in the Ito and the Silk Garden Sock Solo. That's a nice warm garment too. You know,
It is, and
you
it's a garment that will hold its shape. And so, like I said, I'm working on well, I did another pattern that I'm going to be further developing that and put on sleeves on it. This is going to be something once I'm going to live in. One of those kind of cardigans. It's like, okay, what am I going to wear? And
That's
then
fun.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
Well, I'll be looking forward to that when it comes out. That'll be fun.
Yeah.
That'll be really fun.
this
And
is
you
really
recently had
exciting.
not to change the subject, but you recently had another was a vest, I think, that you had, that I asked if it was new, and you said no, it was one of not an older one, but one that you had. It wasn't brand new. And
Well,
so
it is.
Oh, it was new.
You want to see it?
Sure.
All right, let me just grab it because I have it
I'd love
right
to.
here.
In the meantime, Pamela Rose Atkins looked up the measurements as well at 62 inches. Rita Johnson Cotterman. Good evening. That's lovely. Say hi to Doug Cotterman for us. And Anna Marie Milani says, looks great with the outside showing.
That's the one. Yeah. And that, what is that in Miyabi?
This
No,
is Akari.
It's a Kari. Okay.
Yeah. And
Okay.
it's
Wow.
called Morlanda.
Morlanda.
Yeah, vest.
Very, very pretty. I really like that. I saw
I
that.
really enjoyed knitting this pattern. There's places where the cables stop and start again, and it was a lot of counting in a way, but I don't know. I really enjoyed it, and it has a little bit of negative ease, so it fits.
Yeah, I really like that. When I saw that, that's something I would like to wear. You know what I was thinking too about the shawl that we're talking, the Slipstream shawl that we're talking about tonight is last fall, I guess, in September, Paul and I went down for a quick vacation to the Jersey Shore, and we were, of course, still outdoor dining at the time. And I had my Nora, my Ito, what was that? Night shift shawl that I had knitted up, and that Nora was just so warm, you know, sitting outside in the cool the autumn breezes, and Nora was just such those winter colors, and the wintry weights are just so warm and cozy when when that weather changes.
Linda Whit-Sim says, love an everyday cardigan. And Maria Brandt says, like the texture of the vest.
Yeah.
Well, it's the Noro yarns are more sophisticated than what you might think to start with. So most people are attracted to begin with by the colors.
Yeah.
Because they're unusual, and often the color combinations are unusual, and then often there's a color in there that you might not love, or at least that happens to me. but it all works in the end, which is really interesting because
Right.
I've actually had people take out, they're like, I don't like that. Or I've even thought, I'll admit it, I thought about taking out a color, but then it didn't work. I mean, it just wasn't the same. It all turned. So, but the thing about the Nora yarns is they're very lofty, a lot of them. So they warm and they're light.
Right.
And, you know, and we're wearing things under Nora yarns mostly. We're not wearing these on our skin. So it doesn't matter if they're not the softest yarns in the world because they hold up shape very well if
Yep.
they're
They
designed.
do. I have a sweater that a sweater jacket that I knitted several years ago in a Nora yarn, and I still love it. I love wrapping myself up in it. It's fabulous. It is. So, are there any other questions we have going on out there, Paul?
Nope, we're pretty good on it tonight.
Excellent. Well, Cornelia, this has been so wonderful having you here. Thank you so much for sharing with us tonight.
Well, thank you for inviting me, and thank you everyone who's here. It's great to look at your comments, and I hope you're inspired to try your own slipstream something.
Well, we have a retreat coming up in
That's right.
like a couple of what day are we at? We're on the 18th, 10 days.
Oh, goodness.
So we'll be bringing the Nora yarns, and we'll be bringing your pattern ideas, your pattern, and I'm sure we're going to have some folks who are going to be just doing the same thing that we did here tonight, and mixing and matching and having a great time with it.
Oh, good.
Oh,
Well,
you know
makes me
what?
happy.
Before we go,
Hold on a second.
Send me pictures.
Hold on a second. This is that time of the night.
I almost forgot. Uh-oh, I pulled out two.
Uh-oh.
I pulled out two names.
Uh-oh.
This is our favorite time of the night. Everybody waits to see who's gonna win a prize here at Nitty Gritty Yarn Girl. So we have Diane Bellman. Diane, if you're watching, please be sure you send me your contact information. And Cassandra Hager. So Diane and Cassandra, let us know if you're in the house, and we're going to get your prizes off to you. Thank you for sharing Nitty Gritty Yarn Girl.
Well, can I give away a pattern?
Yeah, you sure can.
Go back to your thing.
Whoa.
Let me
Wow.
pull another name. Hold on.
We got a bonus surprise tonight. That's
Whoa.
awesome.
Jillian Goldrich. Yay.
All right.
That's
All right,
funny.
so give me.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I'll need some information on Gillian so I can get her the pattern.
Absolutely. You know what's interesting is the last time you were on our show, Jillian fell in love with your top-notch pullover, the top-notch pullover.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah.
And so we know she loves our Nora yarn, so we'll be sure to send you her contact information.
Great. Thank you.
Thanks, Cornelia.
That's
And
great.
thanks everybody so much.
Have a great night. Have a great week. We'll see you all soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye now.